I'm Devi Snively. I went to film school primarily for writing, but got the directing bug pretty early on and started doing short films. And when I moved to Michiana, I saw an ad in the paper for the Mid-America Filmmakers organization. Went to a meeting and never looked back. It was great. Met a lot of the local community and realized that it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes at least a village to make a film. And luckily I found it at the Mid-America Filmmakers. I began collaborating with other filmmakers. I worked on a couple other people's shoots to get to know the local community and see how things might have been the same or different, and everyone has their own way of making films. And of course I met a bunch of cast and crew through working on other members' films and invited them to work on my film, so it was very much of a give and take situation. I do primarily horror comedies, so there's a little blood, a little gore, but also a lot of heart. My first film in Michiana was Teenage Bikini Vampire, which we had a wonderful experience shooting all on location around town. It was really easy to get a lot of permission, so that gave us the bug to collaborate with other filmmakers, including Tim Richardson, who's currently the president of M.A.F, who was the DP on Confederate Zombie Massacre. Our second short in town. We've done a few other shorts, and after that worked our way up to our first feature, which was definitely the most challenging to date. 87-minute film called Trippin', which we shot 3 years ago and only recently completed. It was a pretty big undertaking. So very challenging as far as working 2 weeks straight to make a feature-length film, but also really a good thing to do in this area because people are so cooperative and eager to partake in such projects. After working on short films here for about 3 years, I decided to throw my hat into the ring for the AFI Directing Workshop for Women, which is really hard to get into. There are only 8 women accepted every year. I didn't intend to get in the first year. I was busy working on our post-production for our feature here. Lo and behold, I got in. I think a lot of that had to do with all the shorts that we'd done here that had had success in festivals, and they realized we had a track record. We were ready to take the next step. So I moved out to LA for the summer and worked in this program and created my short Death in Charge, which has done exceedingly well on the festival circuit, certainly more of a budget than we'd worked with before on a soundstage with professionals. Since then, I've been moving back and forth between Indiana and LA. My goal is actually to come back here and make films full-time because it's just a wonderful place to shoot, but I have found that it's good to have my foot in the door over in LA too, where the industry end of things really takes place. So it's a nice marriage of the best of both worlds, I think. I'm really, really glad that I got my start in the Midwest. A lot of people move to LA with big dreams that get dashed to the floor really quickly. It's very competitive. It's a really harsh environment, and it's about the industry. It's the movie industry. It's not the love of the art that keeps that town thriving. So there are wonderful people out there that are making films from the heart and doing great art. There's also a lot of people there to, make a buck, and they're very cutthroat. So I think working in the Midwest, you really get to develop your voice. You get to work with people that are also doing it for the love of it. None of us were doing it for pay out here. It was because we love movies. Out there, you've got this mix, and I think if you've got that foundation laid and you've been able to make the kind of movies you want to without LA telling you how to do it out here, then you move there and you have a soul intact and you're ready to go. To me, it seems like a really good starting ground here, go there, understand the industry, and then you can come back here with the tax incentives, other wonderful kinds of support, but also knowing a little bit more about how the industry is run. Well, we still have a couple films out on the festival circuit, so we're still trying to travel with those as much as possible, but it's been fun visiting Indiana this week. We've just had a screenplay reading for what I hope will be our next feature, and I'm definitely looking to shoot that in the Midwest. So I'm working in LA, assembling some of the crew, trying to get the budget together, and of course the financing together, with the idea of coming back here hopefully by next year to shoot the first part of our feature. I think being part of a group that shares your love for filmmaking is really, really important. The friendships, the support, the resources, it's a very sharing environment. Also, just having deadlines and having someone to check in with that says, hey, how's your film going? Or coming to the screenwriters group and knowing, that you said you were going to bring pages, so now you have to write those pages. Also knowing that there's not only a supportive community that's going to help you make your films, but people that are going to help put your films out there for the public to see. We have public screenings. It really gives your films a life. It gives us a community to work within.